All right, y'all. So I guess this is the part two of me escaping that bad situation with that very dark couple, and that covenant of witches from that family. So how I escaped outside of me putting the car in front of the stairs, God guided me on out of that situation, and also I ended up calling um, a tarot reader because the tarot reader was one of the people. There was a tarot reader who had warned me about the lady coming in the first place. So I called the tarot reader, and she helped guide me out far, far away to safety to my loved ones. Y'all, I didn't know tarot reading was witchcraft. I'm sorry if everybody else knew. I did not know. I did not know. Y'all take your children to church and all of that. Keep your babies in church, so they can know, how to, guard up, and how to recognize these things. So anyway, the lady guided me to safety the whole way, the whole trip. I had a very long road trip, and I drove, and I was paranoid. I was paranoid. I was traumatized. I was just gone mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I was just gone, and she helped guide me to safety to my loved ones. So I trusted in her like a lot because to me, she helped save my life, me and my baby's life. Man, by the time I made it to safety with my loved ones, they kept asking me, who was I talking to? And I continued to talk to this person because she showed me like the fact that she was a counselor, and she showed me all these certificates showing it, proving that she was a counselor, all these certifications and stuff. And so I was like thinking like, who else would I talk to about this type of stuff? Like, I can't talk to regular people. They gonna think I'm crazy. They gonna think I'm out of my mind. And she said, "Oh, honey, you can talk to me." So I so-called took up counseling with her, and one by one, she isolated me from my loved ones. She, and it's not all together, just one by one. It was something wrong with this one, this was something else was wrong with that one, and my love was like, who are you talking to? Like, stop talking to that lady. But they were being like rude about it because I didn't know no better. They knew that she was into tarot and stuff. I told them, and they was like, nah, nah, just stop talking to her, just stop talking to her. That's what they kept saying, stop talking to her. And I was like, this lady helped save my life, she did me no harm. So, man, I should have listened to my loved ones. I'm gonna tell you that. I should have listened to them because, man, when they say out of the frying pan and into the fire, listen, I ended up getting isolated from my loved ones. And this lady was a lady who was very sick, and I just realized that I was all alone. Like, all of my people who actually loved me, I ended up realizing that I was alone because I had burned those bridges and got away from listening to her advice. And she ended up saying, "Well, honey, just come here, just come to me." So I said, "Okay, I'll take a trip to come see you." She was a lady who had terminal illness, and she had a 2-year old that she couldn't even hold, and the 2-year old was very sick and stuff like that. She gave me this, this sob story. So I went to go see her and stuff. I said, "Okay, I'll just check it out." She lied to me, telling me that they had so many apartment complexes out there, I could move out there and stuff like that. Man, listen, when I got there, I realized right away that she had lied. This lady lived somewhere in the boondocks, somewhere in the sticks, so far off from civilization that the airport was 1 hour away. They only had one apartment complex. The town looked absolutely dead. They did not have Lyft or Uber or a taxi. Like, it was just, my only way out of there was my only way into the town, which was them picking me up from the airport and driving so far into town. So I literally was stuck. I was stuck, and I was like, this is a lie. This was nothing like what she mentioned. My baby walked into the house before I did because he was walking ahead of me, and he let out this scream. I'm talking about a scream. I had never heard him scream before. My baby saw something in the spirit, and he let out this scream. He saw a demon. I didn't know what it was at first, but I knew it wasn't right. It was a scream of terror coming from my child. And so When I was there, I began to witness their practices, and they tried to show me different things. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, it was her. It was a friend that she had that was living with her, and then the person that she was married to, and their baby. And these people were very dark, wicked people. That's not what she told me before I came. But I literally did not have a way out. I had no transportation to the airport. Even if I bought a ticket, I had no way to the airport. None. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Depression fell on me so bad. Depression and anxiety living in that house fell on me so bad. When I was living there, where I would sit on the porch doing absolutely nothing all day, just sit on the porch, and I seen like the amount of flies that used to fly around their house was ridiculous. And I started to notice that their house was the only house like that was attracting all of the flies. Like, that's crazy. She ended up inviting another friend over, and that friend came in, and this grown woman began to cry. She turned completely red. I'm talking about red as a pepper. You hear me? Like, she turned red and began to cry and shiver. She was so shooken. And she was telling me, get your baby out of this house. Get you and your baby out of this house. She said, it's flies around here as if there is a dead body under this house. She kept trying to get me alone to talk to her without the owner of the house. She kept trying to get me out of there, get me out of there. And literally, y'all, I felt like I was under a spell, to be honest with you. And I started noticing all the candles and stuff that they was burning when I was there and when I wasn't there. And it's just, I just started noticing all the candle work that was being done around me. Didn't understand what was happening, but I knew it was some magic going on. It was some hoodoo voodoo stuff going on. So I literally felt like I was bound to these people, like I was bound to this house. It even got to the point of the lady friend who wanted me to leave. She left. She escaped. She found a way out. She left. She had a vehicle. But she didn't take me with her. She just up and left. But God allowed me to buy a vehicle. But even though I bought a vehicle, I didn't have literally anywhere to go. I tried to get an apartment maybe an hour away from these people. Got approved for many apartments, and nobody would take my money for me to actually move there. It was like God was telling me, I don't want you nowhere around these people. So I applied for an apartment in Texas and got approved for it. So the Lord began to order my steps. While I was there, I was gaining a lot of weight to the point where I felt like I was killing myself. And it might have been emotional eating, I don't know, but I gained a lot of weight. And so I began to fast to bring my weight down. You know, I began to fast. But I'm telling you, when I tell y'all, fasting breaks strongholds, fasting breaks hexes and curses and spells and all of that. When I began to fast, I began to come to my rightful mind. Whatever spell or hex or curse, whatever they did put on me, it was breaking it. Fasting was breaking it. And I began to hear the Lord speak to me. He began to order my steps on how to get out, how to put together a plan. And so the woman realized that she didn't have much control over me anymore, like a puppet, like a puppet master. And so whatever plan they had, they began to put it into play for me as well. They wrapped their house before I can even move out. I'm talking about right before I can move out. The tension in the home was thick. Like you would walk past a person, they cut their eyes at you, and when you walking past them, like it was very thick. They began to do things to my son, like take food away from him when I wasn't looking, like picking at him, like he was like 3 years old, like picking at a little baby and stuff. And so they wrapped their house in tarp, and this was 2 months before Halloween. They posted dead bodies all around their house and inside of their house. When I say fake dead bodies, they were in body bags, white body bags at that. So you can see all the handprints, the bloody handprints smeared all over them and stuff like that. Like somebody was trying to get out, or man, I'm telling you, wicked stuff. So what they were doing, the Lord let me know, where they were staging our death. So when they did decide to sacrifice or kill me and my son, no one would notice because they already had bodies hanging and dangling all over their front yard and all throughout their house. No one would notice our bodies. So the Lord began to tell me how to get out. So I applied for an apartment and did not tell them. I got approved for the apartment and did not tell them. I ended up losing the job while I was there. I do believe it's because of some voodoo that they did, but I ended up getting another job, and I literally was on probation waiting for my first check to hit. And so as it got closer and closer to me getting, I was literally a week from receiving my first check. That's when they began to stage the home to murder me and my son. So I didn't have the money to the deposit money and also the travel money from where I was at to get to Texas, where I was approved for my apartment. And also I didn't have the money to move into my apartment yet. So I'm literally just waiting on that first check, waiting on the first check. Whole time I still got to keep working. So I'm doing all of this, and the Lord was telling me to wait until they went to sleep to pack in my room and be very quiet about it. Now, I also noticed that the husband stopped sleeping upstairs in their bedroom, and all of a sudden he started sleeping downstairs, guarding my bedroom door. So I said, okay. I began to pack, even with him sleeping on the other side of the door. I began to pack at night. They are late sleepers, so the Lord told me when to actually load my car. So I loaded it. When I loaded my car, I said, God, I feel safer in my car than in that house. He said, you're going to have to sleep here your last week, you and your baby. So I slept, me and my baby, in the car for a week. These people tried to find me when I left their home. They tried so hard. I'm talking about sending me so many messages, hateful. When are you coming back? Like, just hateful messages. So anyway, they were still, because they couldn't get to me physically, I knew and could feel that they were still trying to cast spells on me, trying to kill me spiritually. Because out of nowhere, my blood pressure went up. Out of nowhere, my blood pressure went up, and I had to go to the emergency room. I literally was working from my car, off my hotspot, doing customer service work in a park for 8 hours, and my legs were swelling up. My blood pressure was going up, and I was about to pass out and die. Like, serious, like, or something. I was about to stroke out something, but I'm like, Lord, I'm just praying, like, Lord, I know you're going to get me out of this. I know you're going to get me out of this. So I called a friend, telling my friend that I'm trying to escape, and I'm asking for money, like gas money, to just drive. I'd rather sleep in my car in Texas than to be close to these people. And so, because the whole town knew everybody. The town was very small. Everybody knew everybody. So, one person spot me and they can tell them where I'm at. And then, boom, now I'm really running basically on fumes because I don't have gas for the car. I'm running out of gas because I'm trying to keep my baby from, having heat stroke and stuff like that, and keep the AC on. But, y'all, it was tough. So, anyway, my friend said, hey, call Navy Federal. They'll let you, don't you got a Navy Federal account? I said, yeah. She said, well, Navy Federal lets you go into, they'll give you, what is that? They'll let you go into your balance, like $500. They'll let you go into the negative with $500. I was like, what? So I called to have it set up. She said it normally takes 3 days for it to actually be activated, but at least it's a try. So I called to have it set up. When I tell y'all that night I went to the gas station and began to pump my car full of gas, and it worked. $40 that night. Like, there was like a few hours after I called to have them set it up. God, I'm telling you. So then my money finally hit. I finally got the money. Soon as my money hit on my card, I got on the road and I drove to Texas, and as close as I could to my apartment complex. And then I had to pull over into a gas station, hook up to their Wi-Fi, and do customer service work for 8 hours in my car. And then once I got done doing that, I had to drive the rest of the way to my apartment. I didn't get to my apartment till about 11:30 p.m. Through the grace of God, my apartment complex allowed me to move in with just like $20 down on my deposit, because they had some little third-party company that paid my direct deposit. They paid it up front, and all I had to do was pay extra $20 on my apartment every month to those people. And see how God is just opening doors. Like, when I was trying to move out that way, nothing was working. But when I tried to move further and further away from those people, like, the doors was swung open. They just swung open. So we made it. And I thanked God. So To catch y'all up, I had the first covenant of witches that tried to kill me over this man, and this man was also a warlock. How I got out of that was through God, and then also there was a tarot reader who was in my ear trying to help me get away from these people. This tarot reader also ended up being a witch who I found comfort in because she helped me escape a situation. And so I went to her thinking that she was my friend and also trying to help her. And in the long run, she too was working for the same devil. So God saved me twice. God saved me twice. Me and my son. From witches. So when I tell y'all, keep y'all children in church. Keep your children in church. And not just in church, but literally show them how to have a relationship with God. Because I'm going to tell you, like a lot of people told me when I tell this story, everybody don't make it out of that. When I tell you I have been delivered, when I tell you I've given my life to Jesus, and since then, I too have talked other people out of falling down that rabbit hole by sharing my story. And I hate to talk about it. And maybe that's the enemy trying to keep somebody else from, being delivered. But I'm going to speak about it. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about it. But I'm going to speak about it because this may save somebody else. Y'all, when I tell you my life has changed tremendously. I don't look into yoga, into tarot, into the new age things. I don't look into those things anymore. I put away all of those old ways. And I picked up my Bible and I picked up my cross. And I am carrying it and I'm walking with it. But I feel like I went through those things, not just for myself, but for somebody else. And so now I know how to point these things out. I know how to pray. I know how to war. I know how to intercede. I know how to heal. When I tell you I'm a whole new creature, I'm made over brand new. And I thank Jesus for saving me and my child's life over and over again. And I thank you. I think it was grace and mercy that he did it the second time. So now I walk in faith. Now I have a relationship.